Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome to Happy Hour Live. My name is Styles, coming to you live from my glorious basement. My guest coming to you from his house, which his office, I assume, looks so much better than what you're seeing behind me right now. And he's laughing about it as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the legendary voice of Creed, now out with his solo album, The Space Between the Shadows, current single Survivor here on Rock 96.7. I give to you Mr. Scott Stapp, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, Styles? How you doing, man?
I am doing well, and thanks for coming and hanging out with us here on Happy Hour Live. Man, how are you doing right now with everything that's going on? You're off the road and sitting at home hanging out at this point, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
I tell you, man, you'd think it'd be chill, but it's been quite busy. Quite busy. I mean, with three kids, with three dogs, and chickens and ducks, and homeschool or Zoom school, the whole 9 yards. It's been busy, man, and you know, a family will keep you busy. It's good.
That's for sure. Now, you broke up there a little bit, but did I just hear ducks in there too, or
You heard ducks? Okay. Yes, you did.
Yeah. You have a little farm going at your house right now?
We got a little farm going at the house. My wife is clever, very very thoughtful, and anytime something kind of affects the kids' routine or is something kind of I guess traumatic and that's different, we always get a new pet. And so this time it was chickens and ducks, and so Dad always ends up being the one who takes care of the pets. But my boy's been really good, and my daughter, they've been helping me out. But it's dad's job to keep them fed and clean. I didn't realize how dirty. I forgot how dirty chickens and ducks are.
I can't even imagine. Are you also taking their eggs and everything too, or?
Well, when they're big enough, we probably got another 3 months before eggs come around. But cleaning the chicken coop is no fun job, man.
Yeah, it can't be. I can only imagine, man. Bless you for all those animals running around the house. That's definitely something to keep you busy. As you mentioned, their school with the kids. I know my stepson, since been working from home here in March, that has been my job, is to do nothing but be homeschool dad and also work. So balancing that time has definitely been something special, to say the least.
Dude, what's up with Common Core? Like, dude, I don't understand it, man. It's like relearning simple math and other things. Have you found that problem?
You know what? Thankfully, he hasn't worked on that here. He's
okay.
Fourth, going to be in fifth. They haven't taught Common Core to him yet. I'm dreading that day because there's one thing. I always joke, I got in the radio because I hate math.
Right.
So
I feel you, man. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, you got to be enjoying the time, though, being home with the kids and the fam at this point. Because, I mean, other than that, if you're out and you're working, you're touring and recording.
Yeah, man.
Not like you get a whole lot of time home.
Yeah, I have enjoyed it. I definitely do, miss being out on tour, because I'm fortunate that, even when I'm on tour, the family's out, almost every weekend. And when they're out of school in the summer, they're with me. And it's like family vacay. But it's been great, especially with the little one who's 2.5. I never would have thought in a million years that I would have got a whole year of his life, to be home and just be a full-time dad and connect and bond with him. And we've had some good times. And so, on the bright side, that's been good. And I've been writing music and creating and my daughter, she's 13 now, and she's a musician, and so we're beginning to write together. She's starting to dial into her new Les Paul, and she's wanting to learn solos, and she's doing scales, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you are officially a lead guitar player. I mean, when she's not just trying to learn songs, she's actually like doing scales and back and forth for hours.
Oh, wow. And
so just to catch these things and these moments that I may have missed or not appreciated has been awesome, man. But it's definitely, my heart goes out to all those that it's just been a struggle and a tough time for, because it has been tough, man.
No, absolutely. Everyone from local businesses to the
Yeah,
frontline workers, all experiencing some difficulties during this time, and local music venues, especially the smaller ones,
yeah.
experiencing some issues there. Talking about your daughter, did you encourage the kids, or have you encouraged the kids to pick up music just in general, or was it just by natural choice to them?
Well, I have a rule. If you are in my home and you are a child of mine, you will learn one instrument. And when you're 18 and or whenever you leave the house and are self-sufficient, you can throw it away and stop. But you will learn one instrument. And my whole thing with that is I tell them when they're little, I said, I promise you, when you're older, you will thank me for this. And so, every one of my children has learned an instrument. They all end up doing more than one. I started them out on piano. They stick with that, and now they've moved to guitar. My oldest moved to drums and guitar, and so they're doing multiple things. And my daughter, she's really caught the bug, man. And so she's not only doing it when she has her arranged lessons, but she's on YouTube and she's following people and she's practicing scales and learning new things. And, she's doing the drums as well, and she's doing piano. And so you can really see her blossoming and how it's really connected. Now, my boy who's 9, Daniel, he plays and sings. It's a little bit of a, he hasn't, it's still kind of a, you got to do this. That's the rule.
Right.
But singing is his passion. And so he's always coming to me and saying, Dad, film me. I just learned this new song. And I've posted quite a few on my Instagram and Facebook because it's just blown me away, at his evolution and his passion for singing. So, music's definitely an integral part of our home.
That is cool to see. Now, as far as, yeah, like you said, your daughter got the bug,
Yeah.
but are you shying them away from pursuing a career in it, or are you fully engaging them and helping to guide them, maybe if the time comes for them to go after what you do for a living, if you will?
Right now it's just focusing on, learning the instruments. My daughter's also learning and involved in recording. She's recording her own stuff now, and she's tracking her drums and tracking her bass and she's doing it all. She's laying down vocals. So she's fully engaged, and she wants to do a lot of things. But definitely right now, they're still enamored by what Dad does. So they want to do that too. And so my son, of course, wants to be in the NFL, wants to be in the major leagues, and wants to take over and be the singer in my band. So they're kids; they have big dreams. They want to do it all. And we just encourage, man, and try to, we're not helicopter parents. We just encourage and give them the opportunities and what they show a passion for. We give them all that we can to help them become the best that they can at what they do.
That is really cool. Is it still cool what Dad does to them, or at this point now they're kind of like, we've been through the circus, if you will, Dad, already on this?
For the kids that are still at home, it's still cool. Now, when they get to about 15, I noticed this with my oldest and my nephew. That's when they start singing my old material from back in the day, in the kind of caricature style voice that people, mimic of me, and kind of poke fun at Dad, which I think all teenagers probably do to their parents. And it's funny. And it's been kind of a running joke. But the younger ones, the 13, 9, and 2-year-old, I'm still in that hero phase. So I'm loving that.
Take it while you can get it, because like you said there, it doesn't last all that long. You'll
No,
time.
you're right.
Well, that is cool, man. It's so great to hear about the kids and everything they're doing. Way earlier, you mentioned about writing some new tunes, because next month is the year anniversary of your latest record. What do
Yeah.
you see as potentially, for a new album? Do you want to do one quicker rather than later, or do you want to still do a cycle with this because unfortunately it got paused?
Yeah. Well, hope is that if everything goes as planned, another single later on in the year. And I'm continuing to write. And then I want to tour. If everything gets back to normal, I want to continue touring early in the year. And I also want to put out a record next year.
Okay.
And so, I want to do both. And so we'll see what happens, man. I'm just setting goals and I feel like I'm in a good place and want to just keep the momentum going, man, and just keep pumping it out and while I'm feeling creative and it's flowing. So expect new music on the way.
I love hearing that. You'll be a part of the St. Jude Jam coming up on June 30th. Tell me about that.
Yeah, man. St. Jude and some friends of ours reached out, and it's something that we love to support and be a part of. I mean, St. Jude does so much for children with cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and their families, and anything we can do to help bring awareness to that and help raise funds for that, and the amazing work that they're doing and have done for so many years to save these kids' lives. We want to do it, man. So, we partnered with some people to put on this fundraiser, and I'm excited to share it with the fans and raise awareness for what St. Jude's doing.
Looking forward to that. Again, that's going to be coming up here very shortly on June 30th. And I assume that everything will be on your socials and all that for people to find
Yeah,
out.
man. Yeah, and there's also going to be a big a site dedicated to it and a broadcast platform. I don't know all the details, but you can check it out at the St. Jude website and just Google St. Jude Jam, and all the info will come up, as well as on my socials.
Fantastic. Looking forward to all that. I'm going to ask the elephant in the room, though, and I've got way more questions. But the elephant in the room last week, social media was a buzz about Creed because of that one photo getting changed.
That's crazy.
I know. And I was like, I saw all the news sites started taking it. Is there anything coming that you can allude to, or was it just the record label changing the photo?
Well, here's the deal, man. Like I've said for a number of years now, the relationships within the band are positive. They're good. We communicate, we talk. Things are cool. And the label changed the photo and updated everything. But I tell you what, if anything changes or if there is any announcements, I promise you, we will let the world know, everyone at radio know. So that's all I can give you right now, brother.
That's all right, man. I just had to ask because I know it was like the elephant in the room for a lot of fans. It's been a week almost now since that happened. And
Yeah.
there's no anniversary happening right now for any releases. So,
well, next year is the 20th anniversary for Weathered.
Okay.
And so who knows, man?
How does that make you feel 20 years from that record, though? Because, I mean, that was a huge record for you guys, too.
It feels like yesterday, man. What's funny about that record is I felt like we were just entering our prime and just finding our identity and our sound. And I'm really proud of that record. And I feel like it's one of the, best records we did. It's something I'll always be proud of. I've read a lot of comments when the fans were talking about it, and a lot of fans agree. And so we'll see what happens, man.
Cool. Well, looking forward to it all. You guys, you talk about accomplishments, being the first band to sign to Wind Up Records,
yeah,
independent label, and the huge success you had. I mean, that says something, because at that time in the 90s, that was unheard of.
Man, it happened fast. We were babies. I literally remember still living in a 2-bedroom condo with Brian Marshall, the bass player, sleeping on a mattress, but out on a tour bus or in a van doing interviews with Rolling Stone and MTV, and making these big budget music videos and playing these shows and getting nominated for awards and doing all this. And it just happened like that, man. How do you handle all that? And so we did. It was a great run, and it was a time of my life that I'll always cherish and remember and be proud of.
Absolutely. And it's afforded you all that you have now, especially with the new record, The Spaces Between the Shadows.
Yeah, man.
Here next month. and you're signed with Napalm Records,
Yeah.
like independent records and labels and things like that. What made you go the direction of signing with them? Because they're more known for like the metal stuff, if you will.
Yeah. They were very passionate about the record. And, we had multiple offers at the time. And two of them were with, major labels.
Mhm.
But Napalm was very passionate about the record. And very willing to partner and do everything that we felt was necessary to help the album get the exposure that we wanted. And I felt like I was again walking into another situation with kind of a smaller boutique label where I could get all the attention that I felt like I wanted to get for the project, but also have the backing and the resources of a major. And so it was like getting the best of both worlds. And so I've been proud and happy with that partnership so far, and very excited to be a part of Napalm Records.
Scott Stevens and Marty Fredrickson worked on this past record. You've had
Yeah,
Benson work with you as well. Do you see Scott and Marty working on the next one, or do you kind of have an idea of who you may want to bring in to produce the next record?
man, I'll be working with Marty and Scott and Zach and Blair um, for years and years to come. Those guys are my friends, and we write together and create together. We've kind of got that's kind of my writing band. Although I'm now writing with my band I've been together with for 5 years now, my solo band, and excited about the stuff that we're creating. But who knows? But I definitely know I'll be writing new material with those guys for the upcoming new album and in years to come.
What's it like bringing the guys in your solo band into the writing process? I mean, do you go to them and be like, "Hey guys, it's time. I think it's time to bring you into the fold," or do you hear them like working on something maybe on the bus and you go, "Wait, wait, wait, I like that."
It's very organic,
Okay.
and it's just like you said. I've opened the door, and now that we become so close as friends, and spent 5 years together and traveled the world and gone through so many things. I think as artists and creative people, it just naturally starts happening. You just start being drawn to each other and understanding each other's vibe and what inspires the other, and things have happened on stage where we've began to develop that creative chemistry, just spontaneous writing during a live show, also during sound checks, and then now during quarantine during Zoom. And so it took a while, for that relationship to evolve into that, but it's evolved into it. And so it's awesome to have so many different, uh, you know, outlets to create with. And I'm excited about the future, man.
Well, your voice on this record is probably the best I think I've heard you sound in your entire career. What have you been doing to really hone the sound of your voice? I mean, from where you started with the first Creed record to now with this last record, I mean, there's got to be things you got to be doing every day, training and all of that.
Well, I think just over the years of singing and taking a vocal lesson here or there along the way has helped me correct things and sing properly. When we started out in Creed, I had no idea what I was doing, man. That was straight, just raw, just singing as best as I could and singing from the heart, but technique, wasn't there. So just over the years, I've learned proper technique. I've learned better ways to protect my voice, different areas of my voice to sing, and then just lifestyle changes, man. About 6 years ago, I made the decision to live a life of sobriety, and I've also quit nicotine and smoking and/or vaping. That has a huge impact on your voice and your lungs. And so, I think just lifestyle changes, along with everything else I mentioned, has had a big impact on my voice. And I appreciate, you noticing that, because it does sound at times like a totally different person.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think I actually like that. I try to go for that sometimes as I'm singing in a different key or a different register or a different, I'm trying something new melodically, and I don't feel like I have to just stay in a box, even as a singer. Some other singers along the way, I've heard them sound completely different, in from one song to another, or from one record to another. And I think I've kind of just, without, intentionally doing that, kind of stumbled across that and just embraced it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool, man.
That's really cool. It's always fun to see the evolution of someone, as I said, over the course of their career, and how they can change, adapt, really, because you got to, especially, every day going out, singing, touring, whatever the case may be, singing new records. I mean,
Yeah.
really cool to see how you progress. What keeps you going today to write, record, tour, even because the kids are getting older? You got a little now at home. What's the motivation still to this day to go out there and do your thing?
It's just a passion and a love for music, man. And a passion and a love for my fans. And I just, there's an energy and a connection, and something that happens at the live show, that is just, it's hard to describe, but it's something that you don't ever want to stop, man. As an artist and an entertainer, creatively, I've been a creative person since I was a child, and so that's just part of who I am, and I'm going to always continue to create, no matter what. Songwriting is that outlet, and so. As long as I'm writing songs, I'm going to want to tour and make records and put out music. And I'm just blessed and fortunate, that I have such an amazing fan base out there, and all my friends like you at radio that continue to support me, man, all these years, through the ups and through the downs and the highs and the lows. I'm glad to be on this side, man, and still making music and connecting with people.
One thing I truly love about you is just there's a rock radio convention that's every year out in Las Vegas, and there's been twice now that I've seen you come out. You've really, you've opened yourself up to the community in radio in general. You've made an appearance. In fact, you made an appearance this year. If I remember correctly, you literally flew in for a single day, maybe like 18 hours, and then you left. You made sure to come in and say hi to everybody, do whatever you had to do, and go, all right, I'm out, bye.
I had a show in Chicago the next day. So I got up early, left Vegas, and then went to Chicago to do the show. So, we were in and out, man. But I wanted to just come, love on you guys. I appreciate you. And we wouldn't be able to connect and reach people without all of you at radio, man. And it's a partnership. Mm-hmm. And we love you guys so much.
The true dedication of a rock star, though, doing that type of travel and having to know you got to wake up, fly, and hit a show. God willing that the flights and everything made their on time departures.
I know, man. That's my biggest worry about flying on a show day. Is actually, if the flight gets canceled or a delay. The other things, you got to stay hydrated.
Absolutely. Now, have you ever had an instance where you had to fly on a show day and things just weren't working out and you scrambled last second?
I have, but ended up making it, a few minutes before time. But never. Wait a minute. Let me look back. Nope, never had to miss a show because of that. But I've definitely gone straight from the limo right to the stage, because things got delayed so much. The only thing that's kept me, in the last, man, I would say since 2002, and I could be wrong. There may be one tour I had to postpone to South America for a personal reason. But I think in the last 10 or 15 years, the only thing that's kept me from doing a show has been natural disasters. I think, hurricanes in 2017 or 16 was the last time. So I've been pretty fortunate.
And now, unfortunately, COVID-19.
Yeah.
everything at this
Yeah.
point. What do you how do you foresee the future of shows when everything comes back into the fold and we get back into a venue, no matter what the size? I mean, we hear all the experts talk and so forth. What do you see as the vision right now of what a show looks like then when we get back to it?
Man, I tell you, I mean, when there's a vaccine, I think everything's going to be right back to normal.
Hmm.
I think right now, for some reason, and it's probably medically based, just from watching the news and talking to my sister, who's a doctor, who is an expert in all this stuff. It's safer to be in open air environments and outdoors, and so maybe those shows and those type of events are gonna continue and kick back up again. I know, believe it or not, I've got a show just outside Dallas on the 25th of this month in Texas.
Still scheduled, still on.
Still scheduled, still on. It's an outdoor show, and they're masks and social distancing and the whole nine yards. And we were pretty surprised that it is a go. But once we looked into what they were doing, we felt comfortable with everything. And so I think that's probably, just in my opinion. I mean, who knows, man? I'm just giving you my opinion, but that's probably maybe the way it kicks back up.
Okay. Well, again, looking forward to those times when we can see you back out on the road. We can all be
Yeah,
together.
man.
Oh, that's the one thing I've been missing so bad is being at a show and just hearing live music.
Yeah,
Again, we
man.
got the St. Jude Jam coming up on the 30th. Anything else outside of that Dallas show that you might have coming up that fans need to know about?
Just some acoustic quarantine sessions that I've done. I did one for Child Fun a couple weeks ago that the fans can check out on my socials. And then I've got another one I did for you guys
We're
at
releasing that
radio.
this video.
Yeah, so they can check that out. And then just stay tuned to my website, my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, because there is stuff coming all the time. So just stay on board.
Stay on board, stay tuned. All right. Well, Scott,
Yeah.
thank you for the time. Hang tight. For after the broadcast, we'll be in the backstage area, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Again, thank you so much for the time, man, and look forward to everything that's coming down the pike from you here in the near future.
Thanks for having me, Styles. Appreciate it, man.
Scott Stapp, everybody. Don't forget, coming up on Thursday, we got the band Saul joining us. That's going to be happening at 3 Central right here on our Facebook live feed and over on YouTube. More happy hour live sessions over at Below No Rock 96.7.com. We'll see you next time.